So, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Silly. Nah, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm cool, man. Just living life, you know what I'm saying? Being black.
Yeah, man. We're posting this from Souls of Liberty page. As a lot of people have been able to tell, we're going through a growth period, I would say. We've created a new platform with the backcourt. We're doing things with music I don't want to talk about right now, per se. But people know us to just have some type of presence and create content and to react to what's going on in our world. And with the recent passings of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd, the country has gone, what would you say, into... the country, it's like going into shock almost. It's like
kind of talked about it earlier with Kobe and KJ or whatever, but it's like an emotional outcry. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just so tired, bro. We just tired of it, and it's kind of, now that we have social media, I think it's a mixture of the fact that for the first time, children have had access, like real live children, like 11, 12, 13-year-olds, like middle school age people have had access to seeing this stuff happen and feeling it emotionally as children. And then it happens again 5-6 years later when they 18, 19, 17. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really what the majority of the people that added on to that group, because it was like our group of young people, the millennials or whatever the case may be, and maybe some of the generation right above the millennials was out in the forefront going hard, because the older people had already been through this and had their leaders killed and what have you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like you said, last time, for the first time, the movement started on Twitter.
Right.
Like, legit, we were in Ferguson and we literally saw it start on Twitter. So like you said,
it filters in our age group of the people who are, for the most part, on Twitter. I feel like it's mainly 40 and under. Not to say it's not no older people on there, but that's who was kind of like making Twitter tight at the time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the man who made Twitter is like basically a little over 40 probably now. So that age bracket from them on down is where we kind of start.
Generation Next.
And I think children who the next generation, like, they are now participating too, and everybody's just fucking tired of it. You got now it's like everybody who's been alive has experienced this shit, and we're experiencing it in a different way because we could see more of it due to social media. Whereas, because people, I was arguing earlier, they was like, do you feel like, I kind of felt like this has happened before, but the scale does seem larger and more amplified than ever before. But I think the technology is what set the stage for it. You know what I'm saying? Because in the 60s, I'm sure it was hella people that if it would have just been a hella more videos from Person View or from Pav or whatever, where you seeing like niggas acting the fool and Bull Connor and them, and you know what I'm saying? Then it would have made the 70s.
Bull Connor.
You know what I'm saying? Or whoever you're picking. That's my favorite racist white man name to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just use him as Bull Connor.
Yeah.
You know, outside of like presidents and shit. But yeah, but either way it go.
Yeah, I think that you make a good point. I would say that Trayvon's death, like you said, when we were younger, we were still in college when Trayvon, like 21, yeah. So like when Trayvon died, I think for our generation, like you said, the millennials, that was like a big like, whoa. You know, I think that we had we all, like, that's the thing. That's the most interesting part about the explosion of this in particular to me, is because Black people on a day-to-day experience police brutality. Mm-hmm. So it's not the police brutality that is shocking to Black people. It's the police brutality while staring in a camera, acting as if you have no worries or you won't have any consequences. I think that's the thing that as time has gone on and on and on, like with Rodney King, the helicopter was over them. You know, clearly people are watching and y'all still are going to beat this man down as if, you know what I mean?
And like, that make more sense than like, a helicopter above us. You not tripping off the helicopter as much as like a guy yelling at you like, hey, you're killing him. Stop, please. You know what I'm saying? And then some of our shit caught on camera. Like, even if we go further back to the Sean Bells and the, when we were younger, we were hearing about high profile cases. So say if it's out of 100 cases, maybe 3 will be bad enough to where it'd be like, nah, damn, they just shot the nigga 70 times. He was on his way to the wedding and all that.
And police brutality does not always equal the police physically abusing you. Because to me, police brutality and a misuse of the system is the Central Park 5. That is police work that they did incorrectly, that led to this, that led to all of this emotional brutality, physical brutality of going to jail, all these different things. It's just that, like,
So the pawns, they agents of the state. It ain't like a, like they the pawns, they the pieces that's out there that's really making sure motherfuckers stay fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so to see the outcry of 50 states, I think has been the most
and France
and yeah, but I'm just gonna speak on America because we'd be talking all day. We talking about European racism, but it's just like to see 50 states.
That's what we talking about.
Yeah. We are. They cousins. But it's our brand.
Right. Okay.
North American brand. But to see it over 50 states, to see the white people beating up white people in Utah, to see a place that people would quote unquote not associate, your modern day racism or old school racism with a place like Minneapolis. You don't look at that as like, it's more progressive. It's north and all these other things. To still have it happen there, that it's not just happening in Florida. It's not just happening in Arkansas. It's not just happening in Missouri. It's across the country. It's not just the NYPD. It's not just the Chicago Police Department. It's not just the LAPD.
GPD.
MIB. It's not just that. It's everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, like you said, that you made a really good point. If I'm 12 and I hear about Trayvon, and then I'm 14, 15, and I watch Ferguson.
And Tamir Rice
and now I'm
on and on, bro. And it's not even been a decade.
And it's not even everybody, like you said. Every month, there is a case of police brutality against a black person.
On camera.
Every month.
And think about how much is not on camera. If it's a sample size, just,
And it seems as if the, Ahmaud Arbery brought to light the hidden hatred and racism that we experience, that white people don't necessarily experience because white people aren't just trying to go kill white people unless it's some personal Netflix shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? But the fact that compounded with, these same racists just wear police uniforms. It doesn't matter. We're not going to protect your rights as citizens. We're just going to bust through your door unannounced and start shooting and kill you while you sleep. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. It's just like, nah, damn.
And beyond racism, it's a power thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say that racism, that's the power tactic being used is divide and conquer. But we so focused on this, but it's really just power. You know what I'm saying? And
I would like to, I'm glad that you said that, because before we kind of talk about how we feel about things happening locally, St. Louis and Chicago respectively, I think that this conversation is not about just the systemic racism against black people as a whole, because that is America, right? So let's not just that's the issue. Then it gets hard to ever try to fix it or anything. I think that this actual real issue is about over-policing, right? And from this, if we don't get some type of reform and overcorrection on an individual and a federal level of policing, then I don't think that this movement is successful. Because from Mike Brown, okay, you got the body cams, but people don't even barely wear those. That to me has not been successful. It has been used, and people, it hasn't told us anything new. Like, oh my God, did you know that police misuse their power? Well, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But now, But now, can we really implement some new policies and changes that cut down on the over-policing of neighborhoods who have high crime rates? That's the thing that people don't see. How do you over-police and the high crime rate and the crime doesn't change? That tells you something's wrong.
And they actually make more money when it's more crime. But Stephen A. said that, And he was fed up. He said something. That's the hardest. I seen him go on ESPN. I gotta find that clip. But he basically was like, we don't want y'all to just talk nice to us and shit, because it's a cycle. It's the same shit, bro.
Same shit.
Like, so now, okay, we're gonna suspend the defensive coordinator and all this bullshit. Like, we give a fuck these rich white motherfuckers already. You know what I'm saying? That's not impacting their lives. That's just like, okay, we're gonna cool it down until we get back to what the bullshit we've been on. And I don't even feel like policies mean nothing to me personally, because we supposed to have been free since our mama's name was born and shit. And that's just on paper. It don't.
Well, yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm under the illusion. I guess I live my life that I understand that I am not a citizen with equal civil rights. Yeah. I live my life that way. That is the truth.
So that's why I'm saying to you is like, policy change has been fucking happening.
Right.
Niggas don't uphold the policy. So at this point, it's like, give me some fucking money. So we can start trying to be regular people and shit and not be as fucked up as we are, because that's why they could do us like this. Yeah. More than, to me, that's where I'm coming from with my solution. Is just like, we just need to all know what time it is, figure out who we are as people. I'm talking about black people. You know what I'm saying? I love to all the other minorities, and I appreciate everybody else. But we dealing with something that's a lot more fucked up than everybody else is. And that's just, it is what it is.
It's and something that's
inward and come together.
It's something that hasn't had closure. We haven't closed the book on slavery.
Because we still slaves.
That book is still open.
And that's what I'm saying. We need to come to a consensus. Like,
that book is still open.
Hey, we fucked up. Ain't no we free shit.
And that's what exactly. And so
LeBron.
Question. So to that point, you see a lot of people, and when I say people, I'm going corporations on down. I'll use the word acknowledging systematic racism. Is that an acknowledgement of, in your opinion, of guilt from the ignorance that they've been operating from previously, of trying to ignore it, or just, it's kind of like one of those things you sweep it under the rug and now it's knocking at your door? The chickens have come home to roost.
Analogy. You cheating. Damn, you called me.
You called me. I'm
fucked up. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to change. I'm going to do everything different now. This time I realized that you a different kind of woman. And then it's like, but he's still finna fucking cheat on you.
I mean, even if they're not going to cheat on you, when you cheated, you knew that was wrong. And that's the thing.
Just didn't have a self-control. It's like, I just can't control my racism. Like, what?
Or to the people. Like, that's the interesting thing. That's the most interesting part to me. Let's just say you're a person and you're not racist, right? Let's just say, you may have been given privilege, you know what I mean? But let's just say you're not a racist person. You having to make a statement that, hey, racism exists. Are you making that statement from the standpoint of you truly didn't know? Or
cognitive dissonance has to be involved a little bit, because it's just, people are just so ignorant and feel like they right. Like, it's like we always talk about, you got reality. Okay. Now there are very few people who can just see that. Then you got the people who on this side and who on that side. Well, it's our reality because we getting our ass whooped. So you ain't no getting around getting your ass whooped. If that's happening, you feel that. But if you're not dealing with it and you just hearing different narratives and different stories from like your personal bubble you live in, it becomes the truth. So they might know. Like, if you say if they do know, it's just right to them. Niggas ain't shit. Look at
I think that
this and that. I believe it.
I think that it what it has done is, what's so funny to me about all of this is, we'll go back. We'll talk about Twitter a little bit more. People's
a thing. If somebody sees this video 1,000 years from now, do hella extensive research on Black Twitter.
Right. And so, it's kind of like Martin Luther King's whole strategy was to rattle the consciousness of white America, to go outside, to get hosed down on television, and for white people to say, damn, that's fucked up. That was his whole thing. That's why he was like, nah, yeah, of course we could go out there and start fighting and beating their ass and doing shit.
Gandhi approach.
Right. But it was like, nah, let's go out here. They're going to see us getting our ass whooped. And that is going to awaken, shift, rattle the white consciousness on whatever side you're on. And it seems like we're literally watching that again. But it's interesting to see people want to talk like Malcolm X, but use Martin Luther King's approach of protest. And
let's be clear, Martin Luther King in a certain period of his infancy in terms of like, because he mentally elevated past he was 34.
When his approach, when his approach to protest though, like his main era of his protesting era, you know what I'm saying?
That they talk about.
When he was still in Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? The first run, that's
the reason why they highlighted, because that's the brand of revolution that they stamp. If you're gonna do something,
well, I think also that, but that also was set a precedent to how policy change would happen, because Lyndon B. Johnson ended up passing the Civil Rights Act and all, and the Women's Voting Right Act. I don't know.
A lot of liberal shit. And he was racist.
And he was racist. But so that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that tied to technical change. I say technical change, not actual change. But that tied to technical change, you know what I'm saying, is I think why it is encouraged. Because they won't enact change with a real act of aggression.
You said what?
They won't enact change with an act of aggression. In America, aggression meets aggression. It turns into a fight. And once we fight, we fight to the death. Somebody got to die, and then it's going to be over. It's not going to be no more issues. You know what I'm saying? So in America, that's why they promote.
I think that's what it's going to take. I think that's what it's going to take, guy. I ain't going to lie. Like, the more this shit happen, not to cut you off, but the policy shit isn't real. It's not real? It's fake real. Like, black people are free. I'm not saying that it's not no better. Let me not say that it. But at the same token, it's like, if you either you getting fucked or you not. What we gonna say? Oh, I'm taking less dick. I'm getting raped.
Right, and it goes back down to, like we're saying, like, in our lifetime, I don't believe that we will have the opportunity to have like the equality, equity. I don't believe that in my lifetime that I will achieve that.
But if it's up to the rapist, though, well, yeah. Now the rapist says he's gonna write some shit down that he's not gonna do. We still getting raped.
And I think that
great.
When we are Joe Biden's age, I think that will be when we will actually be able to tell. Because to your point.
And that's why it continues to go on, because niggas gotta die, and then it starts over. And with our consciousness as a people, it's like these same problems been happening. We haven't done nothing to where we make it known. Like,
well, this is the first time, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the first time where watching history and taking in a secondhand account, reading it, is totally different. Watching people get hosed down and reading about people getting, you know what I'm saying? If W.B. Du Bois was really on TV and shit, totally different. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's what I'm most interested to see, because like we said, that's what I'm trying to find out. That's kind of what I guess so we're saying, like, from that point of view.
Even though I love these people and I am proud to see my people not give up completely, because we could just be like shell shocked and just be like depressed.
Yeah.
And we out here trying our best. But what I'm saying is, the truth is that's not gonna work.
What?
So we either have to have a long time. Us going out there and being in the street and making a disturbance, and the police letting us do it, and people letting us be in the street. Because if they didn't want us there, you see what they can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And in some cases, they are doing that.
Right.
So putting ourselves in harm's way, I'm saying we shouldn't put ourselves in harm's way unless we ready to die.
Right. And hold on.
Plan that's long term.
That is the fundamental issue right there. And that's what I'm trying to see, if, like, what we consider public safety. Our whole frame around public safety is around slavery. It's a slave mentality of public safety. And that's what the whole movement around defund the police is about,
catchers.
Rethinking what public safety actually means. You know, of course, if you don't spend any money to fix the homeless issue, then you're going to have a homeless issue, you know, and homeless people, whether they are or not, commit crime, which then you can say, well, now I need police. And then you have people who have mental health issues that are just bipolar, don't have the medicine, don't have the sun and shit, and do some tweak one day, have a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Ramp up one day, have a bad day. Oh, now that's crime, extra crime. People who are just hungry and poor, going out to just try to get basic necessities and shit, committing petty crimes. You know what I mean? We've created this bubble around public safety to where it's like, well, we need the police. You know what I mean? And it's just like
white comfort. That's what we talking about.
Yeah.
White comfort. Because if they wanted something to change, because in predominantly white neighborhoods, they put more money into education than they do policing. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like, and that's why I hate the people going back and forth, or people like, well, we wouldn't like, no, it's not a zero net gain. It's nuance. You know what I'm saying? The graph just wouldn't go from this to this. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just that.
That's why I say it's gonna take motherfuckers just them having to murder our ass. But we not at that level. We wouldn't do that.
Well,
a big revolution. Look at the Civil War and shit. Sons of Liberty.
Yeah. Well, I think that the millennials in particular now, if that was to happen, that would have been if we were going to go out and just go ahead and kill ourselves, that would have been the time to where it was generally like, oh, we don't have everyday basic rights. Now people are you know, people have fucking Mercedes Benzes.
Yeah.
And that's what they really genuinely care about.
Exactly. So it come back to, like I said, to me, the issue with all of this shit on a basic level is that we don't have knowledge of who we are, because otherwise you wouldn't value the Mercedes over your people. You know what I'm saying? We are not one. That's just facts, bro. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm seeing. Yeah. All this. So it'd be impressive when we come together and do something for 2 weeks now. I have the longest been, or you know what I'm saying? This is the longest niggas that ever been persistently trying to do something, and that is a good feeling. And
it shows like our power.
Yeah, it's some shit happening too, but then at the same time, I feel like they have to do that, cause just knowing how power works. Minneapolis got to put the motherfuckers in jail now, but that could just be a fucking an example they making, and it could be the same shit. They gotta let the shit cool down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, or it's just, or they could see like, okay, they gonna really fuck some shit up. Let us give them this.
Do you think that our society could change its relationship with the police? Like I'm saying, like for 2030, like I'm gonna give you a time period. I'm gonna give you like 2020 to 2030. No, I'm talking about the entire society.
Okay.
I'm saying from 2020 to 2030, do you think that it would be possible? It may not be enough time. You know what I'm saying? That we could have a different relationship with the police.
We being your average American citizen.
Yeah, your average American citizen.
So that's why I'm trying to clarify, because your average American citizen has a great relationship with the police because they're protected and served by those people. And that's their brother and their cousin. And I know police officers and shit. And it's like when we're around them, everything is good.
Okay, let me reframe that then. So the average St. Louisan, and more than likely, is black.
Okay, St. Louisan. Okay.
Now, because like you said, that's a general statement. Even though if we count like the minorities and all that other stuff, the average American is actually a person of color.
One of the rare places where there's slightly, I think it's 0.7 more black people here than it is white people.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. The city of St. Louis.
So in the city of St. Louis, it go like this. You got the places that they serve and protect, and then the hell with everything else. How many niggas can we take to jail? That's really what I see. They got the shit now. I see, like, I was going down Shreve and Lee. I seen they had the little camera shit to where they, like, doing surveillance and kind of, you know, which I like that. That makes sense to try to film everything. But overall, it's like they let niggas do whatever they want here.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, do you think that
everywhere except where white people at?
Do you think that the relationship with the police could change in 10 years?
I don't. One, because it's like saying with education change. If teachers and police officers are gonna be making the money I can make working at Wendy's and shit, then no. There's no incentive behind it. I think that's what unbalances it, because these motherfuckers gotta feel their power in a different way. You get prestige as a police officer. You don't get wealth per se. And so it's like,
that's a good point.
Privilege. You gotta walk around, eat all your free donuts. You gotta tell motherfuckers that they can't fuck with you. You gotta be above the law, because that's the only thing that separates you and makes you special while you out here risking your life and doing whatever. Now, if it was a thing where they was making 150 bands a year, 200 bands a year, we would make them more accountable, and they would have more to lose too.
And I think that is, like you said, not that I feel like people are gonna uphold the police reforms and stuff like that, like, because like from a federal level now they're adding like reforms that are pretty like what they call common sense. So like, oh, lynching is a hate crime, and like banning like all that kind of stuff or whatever. The only thing that I really truly did like is the fact that they're going to be taking information about police officers that use excessive force and like get fired, and like keep a track record of these people, because we literally don't have a track record. That's how the dude who killed Mike Brown. That's the same thing that happened to him. He left the force and killed somebody else. They
need to start like an app where if you're a police officer in the country, you got to be on police book. Just give them a random, you know what I'm saying? Okay, Policeagram, and you on this shit, and whenever you interact with somebody and you do the license,
say Uber. You need a rating.
Yeah, like that's what it will take.
Yeah, and that's but for instance though, like that is like what you just said is a perfect example. And as younger generations and people like that is how we have to attack and come up with innovative ways, I think, to have any type of change. Like what you just said, the police still might walk around and do certain shit like that. But even I see the microaggressions in people when they don't have their camera, or when they or when you ask them, because now they know, even though it's like a small percentage, motherfuckers are trying to hold you accountable. And I agree to your point. If it is going to be a situation that we want to defund the police and allocate funds to other parts of our society, I think, like you said, the police officer needs a facelift. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I know average people who are fucking police officers who are just normal people, and they should be protected more, like you said, with better salary, with better tools at their hand, because it's like, it's hard policing when you got a neighborhood full of people who are uneducated, who are fed the wrong food, who are going through mental trauma just based off of everything. Yeah, they're fucking agitated. You know what I'm saying?
We broke and fucked up, and now you pulling me over because my tags fucked up, because I'm broke and I can't afford no fucking tags, and I got this. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I know the powers that be don't give a fuck, because they're not stupid, Ryan.
No, yeah.
They're not these dumbass white people that, as much as everybody, Trump's stupid, Trump, he know what the fuck going on, bro. Like, these niggas are not,
yeah. No, they're not stupid. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I prefaced it, and I was trying to say 10 years, because let's just say in a world where Trump wins again, okay, that's 2024, so we know nothing gonna change. But let's just say even a Biden win. I mean, Biden old as hell too. He don't have these progressive platform either. He's like
his closer to is being racist in different points of his life. So it's like, bro, he don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you gon'. And then even white people who got black friends and shit like that. Well, yeah, you Michael Jordan friend. I bet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody Michael Jordan friend. You know what I'm saying? It only be certain people you Obama friend. Okay. But him and Michelle, Joe Biden and Michelle don't talk.
Yeah, they don't be texting.
He don't be sending her memes and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's all.
Playlist I just found her.
And I get why the youth being there. And a lot of people be talking about voting and different things like that. But that's why we got to understand on a base level, everything we want start with us educating ourselves and having one common cause, one accord. It's not the black church. It's not black Greek organizations. It's not none of that shit for real. And it upsets people when we say shit like that. But if that shit was making a change, we would be in a different spot now, because Martin Luther King and them was alphas 100 years ago almost now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm critical of everybody. We gotta lock in. Fuck what they gonna do. What we gonna do? Mm-hmm. That's the conversation to me. What we gonna do? Because the shit ain't working, and we can't be waiting on these motherfuckers because it's been 6,000 years. It's been 400 years.
Yeah.
So what we asking them, I don't want to talk. That's why I tweeted that. We were slaves 22 generations. Fuck a conversation. I'm tired of fucking running different. Y'all just running good shows, and we're going to have this black person speak and that black speak.
Yeah, I'm sick of that shit too.
Bro, speak about what? What we doing?
And that's my whole thing. It's like, why do you want black people to that? And that goes back to my original point. What about? But not even that. What about this in particular? You know what I'm saying? Is it COVID because people just been in the house, or emotionally the country's just a different thing? I think that the fact that we don't have as many distractions as being able to go out, being able to watch sports all day on TV, being able to people have to confront these issues that are prevalent every day. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm like, what is it about these particular issues or these three particular murders?
A lot of people aren't working. So that does give, more people. But even with that, maybe this is a white person question. Because black people, we be out here anyway. To a certain degree. It's just maybe more white people and more other, minorities are coming to our aid and are sick of it. But like you said, as much as emotionally it makes me feel good to see the street in LA and it's a sea full of people. But we didn't have a 1 million man march. So going outside in the day, though I love seeing it.
And that's why the conversation around allyship is important because something I can't remember what I was listening to, but it's like, even though you are a person of power, it is slightly not giving it that much weight as people want to give it. I'll say that it is slightly different to have, I would say, the kids in your neighborhood in the suburb wanting to participate in something that historically, like we talked about, they had a blind eye to, was not their issue. You know what I mean? Like it's like you said, I don't know if it's a generational thing, the technology thing. I think that citizens in the world are a lot more connected than we ever have been before.
Yeah, social media has definitely changed everything.
And so it's just like public opinion, I will say, is a real thing.
Groupthink,
public opinion
that are working against us.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's such a dangerous scale, because it can slide either way depending on who is in power and who is in charge. That's why it's super interesting to me to watch public opinion. I will say sway towards acknowledging the systemic racism issue that we have had in America, versus before public opinion was a lot more just based off like your broad stereotypes.
I think politics is what's good for business right now. And once it's not good for business and shit calm back down, now everybody want to take a knee. Now Roger Goodell cool with it. And
oh my God. What a slap in the face.
But they got to do it because it's just hot right now. And they like, you know what? PR.
Public opinion. But that's what I'm saying. Public opinion wasn't
100 million now. He black now and shit.
Yeah, but public opinion before wasn't strong enough around the issue. You know what I'm saying? It literally just wasn't enough people tweeting about it. It wasn't enough people posting about it on Facebook. Now that there is, now, to me, it's too late. You know what I mean? Like it's still too late, because America would have to go back and renege on its entire history.
Yeah, they would have to help us. That's not a reflex.
And I guess, and to your point, and then I want to move on and kind of wrap this up a little bit. The help, it's funny that they act like they don't know what to do, because, like you said, they're the people that put us there.
Yeah, y'all did it.
They did it. You know what happened. If I know what happened, I know they know what happened.
They've helped other groups of people like Martin Luther King just talk about. They subsidize and do shit for poor white motherfuckers, even with the police people. They get paid. They profiting off killing niggas off the insurance they give the police departments that the public has to pay back on an interest rate. So that they making money off killing.
They're not even paying for it.
So that's
that is part of the change. Like you said, if you really want change, like you said, it's to hurt people's pockets. If you want to create any change in America, you got to do it with money. You either got to take somebody's money away or something.
We yelling at the police departments, and it's the motherfuckers up top that's taking that loan out that's gonna take care of them white people no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why I feel like I get the anger, but we gotta just turn it into just like as an individual. I'm really just in the house trying to be the best person I could be and prepare myself for being in my mid-30s and my mid-40s and mid-50s right now, so that I could be the type of man that could help in a community or try to even establish a community. Because I'm tired of that term, black community. I'm tired of hearing it. We don't even have black families. And I'm a product of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I got hella blood related that we ain't on the same page. I couldn't get them niggas to go out and do something at one time right now. How are we gonna come together as a whole fucking community? You can't get your mom and daddy in the same room half the damn time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the shit that on a micro level, we just need to fix that shit first. Cause they not finna fix nothing. They not finna come down and help niggas do shit. They gonna speak nice. They gonna whisper in your ear, tell you what you want to hear, like Jerome. Shout out to TGTC. Tell them what they want to hear, and then keep it moving.
Yeah, I think that on a local level, like you said, on a micro level, you have the responsibility of breaking whatever family trauma you have as a black person. Like you might be lucky enough to where maybe your father or your grandfather broke your cycle of, or your grandmother or whoever broke your cycle of family trauma. But if not, like you said, on a start, you have to start there and stop that. And then after that, you know, like you said, building some type of community within your own community, you know, and I think that that's something that we have been focused on, is building a community and using our voice and our intellect to spark thought and to spark change within people, just bringing themselves together and trying to help the next generation or trying to help the person that's next to them, you know what I'm saying, whatever that may be. But it's just like, you know, it starts with the individual, like you said. And I don't think that the answer isn't 100% one thing. So you're incorrect if you think the answer is just in voting. You're incorrect if you think the answer is just in education. You're incorrect if you think the answer is just in the police. That's not the answer. You know what I mean?
It's all interconnected. Like you said, the answer is self, bro.
Yeah.
Because in theory, I understand why you would think, oh, education is going to do it. Black women are the most educated group of people in the world. So it ain't education. Like you said, niggas ain't finna vote in mass anyway, but let's just say we all did. Even if we could get every black person to vote, we not on the same page.
I mean, even if you got every black person to vote, like you said, it start with self. Part of the problem with our voting is that we're uninformed when we vote. We vote blindly. So that is not helping the black agenda either.
Dr. Paul Anderson. It's economics, then politics. We want to skip. They own them politicians. They're buying them politicians.
Yeah, the politicians are bought.
I'm happy that Ferguson got a black mayor, what have you, but I don't know what you know what I'm saying? I really don't know what that's going to do 100%. Maybe we could get some shit passed or get some money over here. I'm not against trying that. I'm just saying that if we not buying and renting these politicians and we don't got no money as a community, and we was just talking about how overstated it is that the black dollar, this and that, the black dollar going to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So if we don't got no money, you do economics, then you do politics. It's not the other way around.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that I think people want to participate in the political system. But like you said, they have the wrong expectations of the politicians because they've already been bought. I don't think that there's anything wrong, like I said, in participating in the political system. Yeah, sure.
But if we a democracy and we are the minorities of the minorities now, what are we going to get in a contest where we got less people? If we doing
like you said, I mean, to take in America as a whole, no. If you're not a white person, you don't have shit coming in America. Right. But I'm talking about, like, let's just break it down, like you said, into our individual communities that we all live in these small microcosms. You know what I mean? Because even with the COVID stuff, we're seeing how important it is that you got a competent governor, that you have a competent fucking mayor. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see that. You know what I mean? Because the government couldn't do shit regardless anyway. So I'm from a high level. So it's just like, you know, participating, like you said, in those small elections, like I said, that's just a part. Too many black people want to shame other black people as if we have so many black people disenfranchised like it's their own doing. Like when people say, oh, black boys just want to play in the NBA, as if we have these great school systems and great math departments and great science departments, and it's a million black boys like, you know what? I don't want to get this great education. I just want to dedicate myself to basketball. That's not what the fuck is happening.
Yeah. We're failing. The truth is we're failing our babies.
Yes.
Because by the time they even hit puberty, it's over.
We have failed our babies.
We have failed them. They have failed us.
Because we was just babies not that long ago.
We gotta have, black people gotta have a players only meeting. Yeah. That's what we gotta have. That's our problem. Everybody fuck the allies and shit. Either you black or you not right now. If you love us, you gonna love us and support us regardless. Because
we're talking about humanity.
But
we're saying, do you have humanity?
We need a 20-year plan or something for the baby. Like I said, we need to make a 5-year plan and start at that year, 2025. You born in 2025. That's what we trying to do for them.
And that's why I would say to close this. I think that it starts with self, and then it starts with you impacting your community. Because I don't really have that much impact over what's going to happen in fucking Atlanta, in the black community in Atlanta. I truly don't.
Yeah.
I have an impact in the places where I pay taxes, and it's up to me to do what I can, like you said, to reach back and try to help somebody move forward. Because I understand the hurdles and the obstacles and the blocks that they're going through and all the things and the pitfalls that they may fall through. You know what I mean? So if we, like you said, if we can't come together as families so that we can come together as communities.
Yeah. If we have a lack of understanding and you know, and the understanding is why the things you talk about on a micro level, like you said, like the politics, the education, the lack of understanding of self is why we can't take all of those things that other people are using and make it work to our benefit, because we can't apply the knowledge and shit that we're trying to obtain.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we know people who gun-ho about voting. Can't tell you, couldn't write
a policy about shit.
Not doing no deep literacy, don't even have the deep literacy skills they might need to, you know what I'm saying, to comprehend some of the shit that's even going on.
And because of that, I troll them on Facebook. Jeez, there's nothing better than trolling old people on Facebook about politics. You don't even have to say anything. Just share something on Facebook about politics and just be like, old people don't do anything. Oh, man, they coming in the droves. People you haven't heard from in years just coming in, well, I don't know anything, but let me say something. And it's just like, bro, like, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we're too concerned about pictures and fashion. We're going missing in action. You know what I mean? Like, if we don't, like, I agree with, I really like what you said. It's like, if black people want to take a real first stand, let's start with our families.
Yeah.
Let's just start with your family. Get your family in order. And from there, if we had 200 million, that's too many. That's almost America. But if we had, you know what I'm saying, 27 million strong black families, okay, well, now we're talking about something a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
I can't control what the police gonna do. I mean, I can do my best and vote, and I can't control the budget cuts. I wish that all the teachers could get more money because it's ridiculous they don't. But I can't necessarily control that outside of what I can do. You know what I'm saying? But I can make sure that my child don't come into school acting a goddamn fool. I can make sure that they ready to contribute to the community and be good citizens of wherever I live.
And a lot of these kids are upset because of home. You know,
a lot of upset because of home.
A lot of motherfuckers, these kids act like these kids bad. No, he's just that his daddy ain't hug. He ain't seen his daddy in hell. He be in jail because the police planted some shit on him and did some bullshit.
His mama got to work hellas because of the whole system.
His mama stressed. She be yelling a lot, so he don't listen to women when he get to school or whatever. It's so multifaceted, like you said, to where it's not gonna just be like, this is the one thing we need to do. No, we need everything.
We need everything.
We need help.
So, I just want to end this to saying Black lives have always mattered. I don't need a hashtag or anything else to know that I can.
That's the last question I want to ask you.
What's up?
Is that a defeatist term? Or is that a term to you? Do you think, go ahead. If you got the question, go ahead.
No, I think that the term Black Lives Matter is just exhausting. Because I'm upset when Trump is making fun of Asian Americans, calling it the China virus, and I see Asian Americans getting beat up. I'm upset when Trump and them and Obama are using ICE and breaking up children from their families, and they're upset. I'm upset when we don't follow up with women. You know what I'm saying? I'm upset about. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about Obama. I'm upset about all of that stuff. So to say that Black Lives Matter to me, yeah, I'm a human. So I you know what I'm saying? I care about all lives. I'm on the black team. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I want us to see us win first and foremost. But to me, we have so many inhumane people in our society that we have to remind people that we are not these stereotype superhuman motherfuckers they think that walk around and we can eat bullets and shit, and that I don't cry when I get hurt or I don't bleed when I get poked. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the Black Lives Matter is an exhausting term because we have to remind you that we are human. And that's how I feel about it. I don't think that it's defeated. I don't think that, I think that it's just like, hey guys, the sky is blue. Water is wet. You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna leave Obama ass alone. On some emotional shit, he the one person that could come out and just be like, I'm for the people. I'm leading the black community. Because we put him on the wall with Martin Luther King in our homes and shit, in Christian homes across the country, and Baptist homes across, and Catholic homes across the country. Where this nigga, he released a statement like it's, come on now. Michelle just got off tour. Motherfuckers can't. They got all the power. Niggas was throwing parties at the White House. Let's throw something now.
Yo, you think Obama just did all that for clout? What if Obama really just did all that black shit for clout? He just was like, now I'm just gonna be famous. That's really all I want for real.
That's what it seemed like, because we need leadership. And everybody was saying when he was in the office, well, he can't do nothing. He got a job.
Wait till he get out.
You can. Okay, the nigga been out. The nigga done did a book tour and got up 20 million and shit. He good. Now
when they didn't stand up for Bernie, I was there with him.
Poor Bernie.
You're the president of the United States. You're the top Democratic person in our country. And Bernie Sanders is winning state. And you let crooked Hillary go ahead and take it.
Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary.
So, and that's why, bro, it's like, man, the world corruption is so deep that it's like, this issue, really, I mean, like,
because, I'm sure all the people from the Missouri tribe and the Illinois tribe and the Wisconsin tribe and the Florida tribe and the Texas, I'm sure they just looking at us like, yeah, I bet.
As a person, I still ain't got over 9/11.
Hello.
In terms of world corruption.
Hello. Never forget. Hashtag
when
never
we
forget.
Age, will it be a cold ass documentary about how steel buildings burn down in an hour? Will it be? We might get killed now. Let me shut up. Logging off.
Hey man, it's the Souls of Liberty. We love y'all. Peace. Stay black always, and keep fighting a good fight, y'all. We'll talk soon. Peace.